I quit law to travel. Everyone thought I was crazy. You quit your secure and predictable law job? Yes. The problem for me was this. It wasn't truly secure. It wasn't truly predictable. Or maybe it was actually too predictable. And what's worse, what I saw at the top wasn't something that I wanted. It wasn't success. To me, success is happiness and flexibility and living on your own terms. To me, success is happiness. I saw managers and partners stressed, anxious, constantly on the go, and they had no time to enjoy the fruits of their labor. I didn't want that. So I planned to quit. When I signed my first law contract, I didn't know I was signing a deal with the devil. Fresh-faced and optimistic, the allure of 1.3k pounds monthly salary and a seemingly reasonable 9 till 6 workday clouded my judgment completely. I naively accepted the terms minimum break time, an hour for lunch, and 20 days of annual leave. Little did I know I was surrendering not just my time, but my very essence to the relentless grind of corporate life. I traded practically all my time for very little in return, and it was all my time. I was too drained after work to do anything, and my weekends were spent getting over the week and dreading the next. This is no way to live, I thought, but it must be normal. Fast forward 8 years, I find myself questioning the value of this trade-off. The relentless cycle of work left me depleted, but I soldiered on, convinced that this was the price of a career progression. Then the pandemic gave me a taste of the other side. Remote working, time to gather my thoughts, time for well-being, time to enjoy things. It was only then that I realized this. Everything I valued was taken away from me the day I sold my soul to the rat race. So I decided to go and change my reality. That's when I decided I wanted to become a digital nomad. I spent so much time thinking, daydreaming in my workplace, thinking I would so love to be able to travel and work, but everyone around me was telling me that it just wasn't possible. It was not possible to quit the job and live your dream. You're meant to be in the workplace, in the office. You're meant to not enjoy it and be working hard and grinding so much that it grinds you into the ground and it burns you out. This is what you're meant to do. You're not meant to be happy. And this is what I believed for so long, because this was normal to everyone around me. But it's only now that I realize that this is not normal and this is not a good deal. It is not a good deal to be selling your soul to a company or to society in general just to please the economy. Wouldn't we be much better off if we were just happy? Is it too hard to ask? So what did I do? So I decided that I would start working towards becoming a digital nomad. I saw people on social media, on YouTube, on these different places. I heard about people who were quitting their jobs and going to teach yoga in India, and I thought, how on earth do you do that, and is it even possible? And the answer is yes, it is possible. If you want to do something, then you can do it. And I went from law to becoming a digital nomad, and I followed these 3 steps. Number 1 is mindset. I had to work on my mindset first. Going from corporate life or a 9-to-5 job to self-employment, digital nomad life, working for yourself, being your own boss, having a business, being self-employed, freelance, all the words for it. You have to have the right mindset. If you don't, then you're going to fail pretty much straight away. Once I started getting out of my comfort zone, I realized that I had to have a very strong mindset to not get put down by the no's that I was getting or the doors that were getting slammed in my face. What I'm talking about is when I tried to get clients, when I tried to go off on my own and become freelance, I needed to have a really strong mindset. What I did was I read books like Miracle Morning and Atomic Habits to help myself understand what I needed to do and what it would take for me to work for myself. When you're used to being protected by a secure monthly salary, and then you go into having to fend for yourself, then when you go from having a secure and stable monthly salary to becoming your own boss and having to fend for yourself, it really takes a strong mindset to keep you going, and a lot of discipline and consistency and persistence to keep you going. It got to a point at one point where I was so frightened and so worried about what I was doing that I had all these limiting beliefs, that I got panicked and scared, and I didn't know how to make that big jump. And it was only by working on my mindset that I was able to keep going through and not let the setbacks or the fallbacks affect me. Number 2, find your skill. So the first thing I did when I knew that I wanted to go from 9 to 5 life to being a digital nomad is to find a skill that I could do remotely, that I could provide those services to a company or people, consumers, someone who would buy this service. So I looked at the skill that I had, and being a lawyer, I had the skill, the natural skill of being able to write. Lawyers write stuff, they write a lot. And this was something that I had as a really big strength of mine. So I decided I was going to utilize that particular skill to get money to be able to sustain a digital nomad lifestyle. Number 3 is finding clients. This is perhaps one of the most important ones, because without clients, you cannot sustain the lifestyle and you cannot live, because you need money to live. Now, before I got the clients, I also saved up 6 months worth of expenses so that I could have something to fall back on. And if I wasn't able to, or I lost clients, then I would have something there to as a cushion. So I made sure that I was able to get a few steady, consistent clients and provide a service that I could do on a monthly basis for a continuous amount of time, whether that's a few months or years. And that's what I did. I went out and looked for clients. The method that I personally used was cold emailing. This is something that I did. I sent out hundreds, if not thousands, of emails to law companies, asking them if they needed content writing services to write blog posts, articles, newsletters, social media posts, anything that they would need help with. I sent out hundreds and thousands of cold emails, and I got clients that way and provided this service on a monthly basis. So what I did was I chose a skill that I could do remotely. I looked for clients that I could work for remotely, and then I provided those services to them. And after a little bit of time, I think it totaled to about 6 months to a year where I was providing these services. But I think it was a 5-month period where I started going crazy on it and started to get as many clients as possible and get this up and running. And then when I was in a position where I could do so, I left my job to be able to travel and work flexibly and work for myself. One thing you need to know is that the road was not straight. It was very, very bumpy, and it took me a long time to work out what I should do and how I should do it. So although it may seem that I've gone from A to B very quickly and very easily, that wasn't actually the case. And the reality is it took a lot of time, consistency and effort to get to where I am now. And I'm still on that journey of learning and progressing and trying to better myself all the time. That journey hasn't stopped. If you're in a 9 to 5 job and you really want to get out of it, then this is what I would say. Keep going, Don't give up. If you really want to get somewhere, if you really want to become a digital nomad and travel and work at the same time, no matter what position you're in now, you can change your reality. You just need to take the steps to get there.